Senator John Thune, a Republican of South Dakota, really broadcast to the world how little he knows about Obamacare with a single tweet. So, while weighing in on the new Supreme Court case about Obamacare, he said the following: 6 million people risk losing their health care subsidies, yet the president continues to deny that Obamacare is bad for the American people. Do I even need to do the rest of the story to explain to you just why that's so dumb and how that's so stupid? Because, I think for you guys, because you guys are a very educated audience, when you guys look at that, the first thing you do is, did he just say that? Oh, no, he didn't just say that. I can't believe he just said that. Okay. The reason why 6 million people may lose their health care subsidies is because the Supreme Court might take away Obamacare. Those people, those 6 million people are covered because of Obamacare. They're covered through Obamacare. So Obamacare saved the day. If they take it away, that would ruin it. But what's his response? Goddamn Obamacare. People may lose their health insurance because of my ideas, but fuck Obamacare. Okay, understand, guys, we often have the debate, we often have the discussion, well, are these guys on the right, are they saying the things that they say because they're stupid people? Or are they lying to you, essentially? So they know the truth, but it's like nefarious how they come out and they mislead on purpose because they're purely, helping out their corporate buddies and they're covering up for what the real agenda is. Now, I've maintained from day one, it's a mix. It's a mix. It depends on who you talk about. It's different for different conservative media figures. It's different for the different politicians. So you have to go on a case-by-case basis. When it comes to Senator John Thune, here's my conclusion. The guy's a moron. And maybe I'm being slightly unfair here, although not really, but because he could just be incredibly ignorant in the sense that he doesn't know anything about Obamacare at all, but he wants to comment on it, so he comments without actually doing the hard work and researching and reading. You understand what I mean? But it's probably a mix of both. He's probably ignorant, and he's a fucking moron. He's definitely a moron, because why would you say that? How can you say that without checking the bullshit that you're saying? I mean, it's Republican 101 on the issue of Obamacare. They fucking proposed a policy nearly identical to it in the 1990s, and now they've all flipped on the policy they all used to support because President Obama agreed with them. People don't know this, man. Even going back further, Richard Nixon proposed a similar policy to Obamacare, the idea of the individual mandate in Obamacare. So first it was Nixon, then it was the Heritage Foundation, a right-wing think tank in the early 1990s that wrote policy papers where they said, this is the idea that we like. It was very similar to Obamacare. Then it was, Newt Gingrich and Chuck Grassley and other Republicans at the time who said, this is our proposal. This is our counter to Clinton Care, when the Clintons were trying to propose a more liberal solution for the healthcare system. They said, no, we like this. And their answer was an individual mandate system like Obamacare. Then Obama says, I agree with you, Republicans. They're like, oh, we hate that idea. And it's a government takeover of healthcare. You came up with it. Of course it's not a government takeover of healthcare. You keep the private health insurance companies in place and you make it so that people have to go buy from it. I wish we had a single payer system. We don't. And look, that's the thing. Republicans virtually across the board think that Obamacare is a government takeover of healthcare. It is just empirically, factually not. It's not even a public option, which is like, hey, you have the choice to buy into a system that's, the government essentially. It's like a Medicare system. It's not even that. 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 It's fucking, we're going to make you go to a private insurance company and buy coverage there. So they say it's a government takeover. It couldn't be any more opposite of it. It's the most free market solution you can have when it comes to addressing the healthcare system. And then what this reminds me of is, like the death panels lie, for example. They just say anything. They have verbal diarrhea, they make shit up, and the entire time they arrogantly and condescendingly act like they know what the fuck they're talking about, and it's the liberals who don't get it. No, believe me, we get it, you don't get it. You're so concerned about death panels in Obamacare, which doesn't fucking exist. Meanwhile, you give the real death panels a pass. Those death panels being the private insurance companies. Okay, that's the problem. The problem is that the way it's set up, they deny care as much as possible in order to pad their bottom lines because they have to make profit because they have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders to do so. How many private insurance companies have said, I'm rejecting your claim because of some bullshit reason in your past that's irrelevant to this situation, but I'm going to reject it because I need to find a way to wiggle out of paying for it because I have to make profit. Happened all the time. They had whole departments for it. It's a process called rescission. They've been doing it for the longest time. It took Obamacare to step in and say, you can't do that part of it in order to fix it. So they go, death panels in Obamacare, they're going to kill your grandma. Meanwhile, the real death panels are in the system that you guys want the most, which is a pure capitalist system, or the system that we had before we had any reform whatsoever. All of you guys, including Senator John Thune, you're a massive joke and you have no clue what the fuck you're talking about.